My name is Michael du Plessis, my partner is Carl du Plessis, and the title of our project is Political Polarisation and Network Analysis in South African Election Discourse.
I'm going to talk a little bit about what our project is about. Our data sets is from the municipal and national elections from 2016 to 2024. And the idea of our project is actually to go and identify xenophobic tweets in the data sets. And then if we have xenophobic tweets, we can see which users actually created those tweets and how that perpetuated throughout Twitter. We used a fine-tuned DistilRoBERTa model to classify xenophobic tweets, which was actually the biggest issue that we had in this project, is how do you identify xenophobic tweets? What we found was that xenophobic tweets, after we applied our model and we predicted the xenophobic tweets, that most of the xenophobic tweets happened around the elections. In our diagram, in our time series diagram, the red dots represent the actual election dates, and 2019 and 2024 was the national elections, and that's actually where the most xenophobic tweets occurred. We could see that of the top 20 users that tweeted and that was then further retweeted or inferred tweets, of those users that had xenophobic tweets, most of those users had political parties in their screen names.
I'm now just going to demo our 3 Streamlit apps we've made. So the first Streamlit app I will be demoing to you is just a quick visualization tool, so you can see how it's just how to explore these xenophobic tweets. So we have 3 nice, beautiful graphs here. We have a Sankey diagram, a simple bar graph of the top 20 users, all anonymized for their own privacy. And then also, this is quite an interesting graph where we can see the number of xenophobic tweets from 2016 to 2024. And as you can see, there are 4 spikes, and all 4 of these spikes are around the time of either a municipal or national election. And as you can see, an all-time high was reached in 2024 during that national election. Another thing you can do is this Anki graph just shows the top 20 users, but you can also modify that number if you want to see the top 22 or 25 and so on. The next application I want to show you is a Xenophobic Tweet Explorer, and this is just a way to explore the data frame that contains our data set after our model has classified every tweet. And you can just do some basic filtering here, say if for example you want to filter by what the sentiment is and what the maximum and minimum have to be and things like that. Our final application is just a simple classifier where you can actually type something to the model and it will come back with an answer. So I have 3 tweets to show here. I have the first one, immigrants must leave. We classify this as it is naturally xenophobic and with quite a high confidence. The next one I have is I like pancakes and maple syrup, which naturally is not xenophobic, and the model is very sure about that. And finally, I have these foreigners are a plague, and that is also very xenophobic with quite a high confidence. Now I'm just going to talk a bit more about our project. We fine-tuned the DistilRoBERTa model with the goal of to predict xenophobic tweets. How we built a training data set was we took all the tweets we have from the 4 elections, combined them all, performed sentiment analysis on them all, removed all tweets that were negative, as xenophobia is a negative thing, and then we combined that with an external xenophobic data set, and then trained our model on that. We did test 2 other models, such as random forest and logistic regression. We evaluated the accuracy of all models, and we evaluated our final DistilRoBERTa model by manually entering tweets and having external people enter tweets, but we did not share any private data with those external people.
Okay, I'm going to continue a bit and talk a bit about our challenges. So the biggest issue that we had with identifying xenophobic tweets is that the social media companies, and specifically Twitter, or X as they are called now, remove xenophobic, racism, hate speech, anything that's negative are removed very quickly from those platforms. So the data sets that we have from Twitter are obviously clean data sets from a Twitter perspective. But still, we are able to identify in those so-called cleaned data sets, we still are able to identify negative and xenophobic tweets. Another big issue that we had is our computing power. We could not do our training or our prediction on local computers, so we had to we used GPUs that was deployed on AWS. We used SageMaker for that.
And then finally, that data set I spoke about earlier, we first performed undersampling since there was a lot more non-xenophobic tweets than xenophobic, but that actually, then we decided, we should actually do oversampling, but that actually was detrimental. The model performed worse, so we went back to the undersampling technique. Thank you. That is our presentation.
Thank you.